What's up guys, Sal here. So for those of you who don't know, Samsung flagships use two different chipsets or processors depending on the region. The US, China, Japan and Latin America get the Snapdragon variant, while the rest of the world gets their own in-house Exynos variant. The reason Samsung doesn't use Exynos all over the world is network compatibility. The Exynos still doesn't support some older network bands in the US and China, so they use Snapdragon SoC. A few years ago, Exynos used to be the superior processor among the two, except in the graphics department where the Adreno GPU from Qualcomm was better. But from a couple of years, things have changed. Snapdragon is beating Exynos in almost every department, including the efficiency of the chipset. Snapdragon chips have way better battery life than Exynos these days. Of course, that being said, the Galaxy S11 will also have two different chipsets. Both of these processors have been made official, and judging from the specs and features of both of these chipsets, it's all clear that Snapdragon is gonna be better again this time as well. And the thing that makes me worry a little is that the industry officials are also coming out and saying that the performance difference between the Snapdragon and Exynos this year is gonna be, and I quote, quite large. And that's the reason Samsung has decided to equip the Galaxy S11 with Snapdragon 865 in more markets other than these four, which is certainly great news. Korean media is reporting that South Korea will also get the Snapdragon 865 variant this year. We still don't know what other countries will get the Snapdragon variant, but we do know which market will not get it, and it's Europe. Europe will get the Exynos 990 as usual. I know that sucks, but what can you do? Anyway, what I don't understand is why to sell the Exynos 990 this year if Samsung itself is not confident in their own chipsets. If the performance difference is too large, then why not go all in with Snapdragon 865 this year and then come back next year with a better Exynos chip and with AMD's Radeon graphics? Samsung has fired its Exynos team at Austin, who are responsible for custom Mongoose cores for the Exynos, and from 2021 onwards, Samsung is directly gonna use ARM's architecture. So that means Exynos will get better starting 2021 with AMD's graphics and ARM's architecture. But my point is, why use Exynos chips in their premium flagship phones in 2020 if the performance difference is quite large? Isn't that unfair for people who get Exynos Galaxy S11? Because all of us are gonna pay the same price for it, and people who get the Snapdragon variant are gonna end up with a better device even though they are paying the exact same price as people with Exynos. You know what Samsung should have done in my opinion? Is use the Exynos 990 in upper mid-range phones such as the Galaxy S10 Lite or Note 10 Lite or any other upper range Galaxy A series phone. And for the S11 and Note 11, they should have gone with Snapdragon 865 all over the world. And in 2021, for the Galaxy S12 and Note 12, they could bring the Exynos back because by that time the Exynos will get better because of AMD and ARM. Anyway, the good news is more markets are getting the Snapdragon 865 Galaxy S11. South Korea is confirmed. We still don't know what other countries will get, but Europeans, you're still stuck with the Exynos 990. We also have a potential launch date of the Galaxy S11, and it's coming from Ice Universe himself. He says Samsung will keep the Unpacked event in San Francisco on February 18th. The clamshell foldable smartphone from Samsung will also get unveiled alongside the Galaxy S11. Of course, that being said, for all the latest Galaxy S11 updates, do consider subscribing, and as always, I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace out.